Hey, how's it going? Dave2D here. So Apple just announced their new iPhones and a bunch of other hardware. So I thought I'd do a quick video kind of talking about my first impressions on all of this stuff. I'm gonna skip the Apple TV. I mean, it's really cool, 4K, HDR, great hardware in there, but TVs are just not how I consume most of my media anymore. So it just doesn't interest me personally. I'm just gonna pass on that. The Apple Watch, I've always liked the idea of a smartwatch. I've tried several and I've always found them, I don't know. The battery life on smartwatches is what ruins it for me. Like having to charge them every day or at best like every 2-3 days for a flagship smartwatch. It could theoretically replace a phone for certain users. Now I don't think this is gonna make everyone switch over to Apple Watches and dump their phones. In fact, I don't think that you even can. I still feel like you need to have a phone, but I think it kind of breathes new life into the whole smartwatch genre. Now, this isn't the first time we've seen cell capabilities in a smartwatch. I've tried a couple. I even tried to use a Samsung smartwatch as like my only cellular device. It went terribly, but I feel like because Apple has big market share in the whole smartwatch industry, I don't know, I feel like this could be a good thing for them. The big thing though is the iPhone announcement. And I gotta be honest, going into this thing, I thought the iPhone 10 or the iPhone like X, as people thought it was called, the regular looking iPhone, I feel like that thing is, okay, in 2017, better screen to body ratio than the Apple iPhone. So it's so weird that Apple's pulling out another like thick bezeled phone right now. It makes me die a little bit on the inside when I see that thing, but it is what it is. Now the specs on the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus are significantly better than the specs on the 7 and the 7 Plus. That's just the nature of a next generation product, but the bezels on the iPhone 8 just look so thick to me. I don't know, I'm at a loss of words, but I'm sure the phone has great hardware. It seems to have a significantly faster processor, especially for multi-core stuff, wireless charging, a slightly better screen, all good stuff, but because of the bezels, I just feel less enthusiastic about that phone. The iPhone 10, however, really cool looking phone. I mean, we saw this thing all over the internet. It was leaked like crazy, but it still looked really cool when they did the official announcement. Now, $1,000 for a phone feels insanely expensive. I haven't used it, but I will say this. I made a video a couple weeks ago that talked about how the Note 8 was a poor value because you can get an S8 Plus that was almost identical in everything except for the pen and the dual camera thing to the Note 8. And so I said that it's so much cheaper and it had so many similar characteristics. With this thing, the iPhone 10, you can't get anything like it. If you want to, you know what I mean? Like you can't get an iPhone 8 Plus, trim off the edges and be like, hey, poorly priced phone. It's expensive as heck. And I don't think that it's a good value, but I don't think that Apple mispriced the phone. Granted, it's a terribly expensive phone. So with this expensive price tag comes, I guess, some neat hardware. The camera features on the front seem pretty advanced, I guess, but after watching the keynote and seeing what those cameras can do, okay, yes, Face ID seems kind of interesting. I don't think I would prefer it over Touch ID if I had to choose between them. I feel like there's no way that in its current iteration, Face ID will be as fast as Touch ID, but that's to be seen. But the big thing for me is that all that camera hardware, they're showcasing stuff that I would never use, like animated emojis and other AR stuff with the front-facing camera. It's neat and the hardware is very impressive, but how often am I gonna use that? Like for the first couple of days, and then the novelty for that kind of stuff is gonna wear off real quick for most people. So is there that much value in that front-facing camera tech? I don't know. I do love the way that the phone looks though, like the rounded edges, the bezel-less look. I love that. I mean, the Essential phone, which is what I'm using a lot of recently, like that bezel-less look is really cool. Now, there's one thing that bugs me. When they showed the iPhone 10 displaying videos, the black bar cuts off the video screen, which I thought was really weird so that you don't cut off any part of the video. And on the iPhone 10, the video just runs right behind that. Or a game developer, you're gonna have UI elements that like often go on the left side of the screen, whether it's for games or for like, you know, a calendar app or whatever it is, you'll sometimes have stuff there. And now, if an existing game, like an older game, you'll have to go back into that stuff, redevelop it so that you kind of shift everything over. And the other thing is like, if you adapt your game so that it looks proper on the iPhone 10, on the regular iPhones or on an Android device, you now have a gap on the left side where those UI elements used to be, just so it could look proper on the iPhone 10. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thumbs if you liked it, subs if you loved it. I'll see you guys next time.